Fine. I think I actually want to go over there. Let's adventure over there. I've never done this on a video, but I'll do it on the stream. Yeah, there's things still. Uh-oh. Piggymen. Are you guys still angry at me? You're not angry at me, right? You're just trying to get to your home? Totally understandable. I have no torches. Oh gosh. The creepers. They be creeping at night. Let's see if I can get away from him. Oh, I thought I'd get away from me. I don't want to die. Oh, this zombie has a gold hat. Yeah, so this is something that I have nothing to do with. I'm assuming there's villagers in here. Dude, punch him. Take care of business. You're seriously not going to hit that guy? You guys suck. Oh, set that guy on fire. Oh, that's bad. I feel bad. There must be a bunch of villagers in here. Which is good, because I'm looking for people to trade with. Hey, there you are. Okay. So this is all Van's doing. I have nothing to do with this. I would assume there was somebody in there if he's got it all locked up. But mayhaps not. It's a weird thing to do, especially if there's nobody in there. Just lock buildings for no reason? Weird. You know, it hasn't sent out a notification that I'm streaming. But I am. Well, that sucks. Might explain why there's not a lot of activity just of yet. There's a whole thing over here. Stuff I can use. I'll take that healing potion. Well, heck yeah. I'm assuming this is Van's. If not, I'm stealing somebody's stuff. Oops. Yeah, there's stuff in here I could totally use. Potion of invisibility. I guess this could easily be somebody else's. Yeah. Oh, look at all these books. Oh, wow. Lots of stuff. Watch it. It's going to be somebody else's. Currently abandoned. Okay. What up, villagers? What do you got for me? That's like the worst trade ever. Although that coal might be nice. Oh, they're finally now getting killed? 39. I wish I had a cheaper rotten flesh one. Yeah, you guys are not very good. I'm going to take that gold, because we have a gold farm, but I need more blocks. What's this about? Nothing. Awesome. Lots of wood. Yeah, okay. Run. Right into the cactuses. Or the cacti. Oh, wow. There's those. It's a good thing when you're like, oh, wow. With your own building. So, I guess I must be doing something right. At least according to my standards. The drawing distance, though. Wish it was a little bit more. Okay. Oh, where does this go? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so there's a village over here. Not as exciting as I thought it would be. I cannot lie. Hey, Jordan, how's it going? Almost called you Aaron. Not sure which one of you would be more, offended. So just checking out this apparently abandoned village. Anything up here? No, there's never anything up there. So I'm hearing, guys. I just missed them. Yeah, those notifications are just fine. All right, so okay, yeah, so those are the same guys. All right. So apparently they can come out here and make babies. I don't know. Doors apparently make them think that they're secure. I heard that iron golem, unless that was this. No, that was. Here he is. So eventually I'm going to get iron golems up in here and villagers. Just have to make it really safe. So that will actually be handy. I also have a villager farm, like over here. I'll show it to you. I've got a couple things to show you guys that I've been working on. Excuse me. Yeah, I think you're right about Aaron being more offended. I'm not sure why that is. I'm just trying to think of what Aaron's normal username is. What is his normal username? I mean, I haven't watched him stream in a long time. You do wish you were a good-looking black man. Let's see. Oh, BG Radio. That's what it is. He would not want to be a funny-looking ginger. Awesome. See, that's the thing, though. When I think about you, I don't think about you having red hair. But I guess it's because you keep it so short. Or you dye it. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, so there's another villager thing over here. Which, I think that one has some. I think that one has some in that side. But then the other side doesn't. Yeah, BG Radio. Gotta love that Twitch lag. So still got to work on this floor, which I'm not going to make you guys suffer through today. And there's a... Okay, so there's a place, and I wish I had these scanned. I may actually switch over to my webcam so I can show you guys better. So there's a place in Italy called the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore that I am now basing this design off of. And I don't know what Van's original inspiration was. By the way, we need to... it goes down and there are a bunch of villages downstairs. Does that? Oh, really? You would know, because you fell through this, didn't you? Yeah, I remember you falling through this. But there really... How do I get down there, then? Oh, this. It helps to pay attention to your own builds. You know what I'm going to do? What do I feel like I'm going to just need? That, why? Yeah, that makes way more sense. Yeah, I've always avoided this area because it's been so dangerous. I've never been down here. Sounds like there's a lot of evil things down here, though. Oh, okay, I'm seeing the doors already. Oh. Very interesting. Making sure there's nothing around us. Oh, I need to collect this. Oh, good gracious. There we go. And sprint. Oh, didn't sprint. Definitely didn't sprint. Oh, that sucks. I guess I can get rid of these by doing this. Too many commands with the hands. Is that what they call it? I'm hearing them, I'm just not seeing them. Where the heck are those villagers at? Are they just behind these doors? Then I'm just not looking hard enough. It's probably what it is. Ooh, more iron. Dang it. Collecting the iron for my third beacon. Okay, so where are these guys at? Where's all the evil? Okay, here's all the evil. Go all the way down. There's also a chest with iron. Sounds like Christmas to me. I want to kill these guys. Oh, I see. I see. Die, zombie. Hey, Liz, how's it going? I'm just gonna call you Liz. Sounds like the sound a creeper would make before it blows up. I didn't change my streaming settings, so hopefully you can watch this with no problems. Oh, gold. Gold and iron. I got so desperate I actually started trading with villagers for zombie meat. I have like a couple emerald blocks in my beacon. Anything for my my beacons. How's it going? I was getting a little bit worried because oh, there's my Twitch notification. I'm finally streaming. Took like 12 minutes for it to go through. So as usual, if you missed this, everything goes smoothly with the recording on Twitch's end. I'll have this uploaded to my YouTube channel so you can watch after the fact. I'm getting so lost in here. Okay, so that's where it goes. So you're saying go all the way down. You're also on the server. So if I can't find it, oh, here's one. Here's two, actually. Oh, yeah. Love of the gold. For the love of gold. Oh, wait. That goes up somewhere. Ooh, maybe that's where some of the creepy crawlers are coming from. I have no torches to put down. Go to sleep soon. Were Muffin. Welcome, Were Muffin. Everybody loves Were Muffin. I just came up with that. Did you like it? Let's just do that. I have a YouTube channel. Say what? Yeah, I just started it. Okay, so you're saying going, like, I go down in that hole? That sounds terrifying. I gotta get a better way of getting out of these things. How about we just do this? Oh, I don't think I like this. Oh, why is that lava there? By the way, did you find... No, I actually did. I haven't, what ladder? No, I haven't looked into them. Ah. Go all the way down. I don't listen to instructions very carefully. Oh. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's like an iron golem farm. Oops. What did I just do? Oh my gosh. Best day ever. Oh my gosh. I've been slaving away when I could have just come down here and gotten all this iron. Oh, bless it. Guess it pays to look. I'm assuming this is stuff I can take. I mean, it's near the cathedral. Surely 22 does the trick. If it doesn't, I'll come back. Oh, that's cool. Not exactly sure how it works. Somebody much smarter than I does that. Do iron golems, like, procreate? Is that how that works? I guess they fall from the thing up top? I don't know. Maybe it's not in order. I thought I saw one of those guys down there. Maybe not. Not exactly sure what we're even going to work on. And why is the air not on in my apartment anymore? Starting to get toasty up here. Ooh! Why are there terrible drops? Why? I demand answers. Do poles like that just in case I need to undig that stuff, but I feel like I've covered up a lot of these holes already, except for like this. Just don't understand why that exists. Right. There's this one over here. Just seems weird that maybe that's like a deterrent for zombies. I don't know. Their pathfinding is pretty smart these days, though. All right, let's complete this beacon. Really just need to put fence gates there. All right. See my incomplete beacon, which should be complete. Those holes are for the iron farm below. Alright, I can always go undig them, but it makes me feel weird. Oh, we're gonna need more. Slain by the skellies. Alright, so how many more do I need? 9? Yeah, 9 more. And then we can get full speed. Full speed ahead. Anyways, so if you want to look it up, there's a cathedral called whatever I said. Oh, I just ran right past you. Ouch. Oh, there goes the ear. Here comes the rain again. So I'm just gonna... I don't know. That's never fun in the nether when things go crazy like that. Oh, shoot. Well, I guess we're digging it by hand. I just don't like these holes. Oh. Oh, so it has to have... I see. So it has to have headway for it to know that it's above ground. Okay, I see. I understand how it works. I just don't know how to make it work. By making it? Does that make sense? Okay, so that one is opened again. I see. So it has to understand that where the doors are. It's got to recognize that there's open air above it. Yeah, we'll leave them. I don't go over here very often, but eventually we're going to want to somehow either integrate this or move it or something, but okay. I see. So where was the one that I did like a drawbridge across from? This one. So I want to fix that. Okay. I'm glad I have these boots. I can just run across the water, no problem. Okay, so go all the way down. Turn. Come down and claim our reward. So what did I say? 9 more? That's 7. Put some fence around it. That's a good point, so people don't accidentally run around it. That's a great idea, Jordan. May just do that. Maybe a few shrubberies. Let's make it nice. I think I've drank 6 of these bottles of water today. It looks so small when I look at it in the webcam. Just a normal bottle of water. Shrubs would be good. Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah. Oh, when? I mean, we're pretty close to that beacon. It should... So we're basically going to go from speed 1 to... Oh, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Even if it's for a few minutes. Oh, come here. Hello. Yeah. Did he give me 4? Yeah, he gave me 4, I think. Watch me on the YouTubes. Yeah, so I recorded a couple of Starbound videos already. Those went a lot longer than I thought it would. Yeah, you have a good one too. Wait. What? 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 Do I keep getting that achievement? That's like the... Where's the Beaconator? Create a full beacon. My 5th one? I realize you got it every single time you made one. Speed 2. Put it in there. What? I think I just broke it. Change my perspective. Now we're super fast. Now we can run around the whole place with speed 2, right? Yeah. We're so fast. Except for when you do that. As I try to not to cough. Excuse me. Excuse me. Alright, so let me talk about this place a little bit. Let me get in a safe place. This is a safe place. I think we're okay down here. Although there are a few weird places. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I got the same thing when I started... When I fought a wither, and then I beat the wither, I got the same 2 things again. Which I've totally done that, like, how many times now? I do want to do something with this area. I want to reorganize it a little bit. There's an off... I almost want to move this down here, where the sheep are. Ah, dang it. Oh, she left the game. That sucks. Was she booted? I've seen that happen a couple times. Of course, food could stay here. Like, it's just weird that these 2 are here. Sad face. And then the dyes are here. So it's like... It's almost like these and these need to be, like, either next to each other. I don't know. People organize things differently. And that's completely fine with me. Alright, so we got a bunch of sea lanterns. Muffins gave me a bunch. I should have slept when she was gone. Wait, she's probably still in the nether, right? I don't even know what happened. My game froze and then I was dead. Yeah, it says you died because of zombie pigmen. Okay, so she's in the overworld. Zombie pigmen. I'm going to switch to my webcam real quick. Alright. And so... So right now... This is going to be in reverse. Oh no, it's in the right thing. So right now, this is what we have built, this rectangle. And if you look at that building, again, Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, if you look at it from Google Earth, or Google Maps, it's got this like really interesting kind of like a stop sign. And in my case, I'm just going to make it a circle. So it's got a circle here, and then it's got like a half circle here, and half circle there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these 3 half circles, but definitely working on the circle, and you've probably already seen the dirt thing on it. Also the front, I kind of drew a little sketch of it. I need to use graph paper, but this is just something I was doodling while my wife and I were kind of talking the other night. So that's roughly what I think the top is going to look like. And that really mimics the building. What's really cool about this is it's got these, see these little things right here? They kind of have like these little statues, and I thought it'd be really cool to use armor stands and put those in there. And of course these would be the normal windows, which is a little bit different. Keep the main door, and then put doors on each side so that window won't go all the way down. So I've got that one, like this piece of paper, this piece of paper that's got some notes on it that are just numbers. This, so I've got 5 pieces of paper that we're using to keep track of all the crazy zaniness. It's fun to be able to switch scenes like that and show you guys. Trying to keep track of it all is also a chore. Let's go back to the game. Yeah, so the outside of this, let me show you. Yeah, sorry about if the microphone was picking up the rubbing paper. Didn't even think about that. I don't hear myself. I don't hear anything through my mic because of the headphones I use. I can hear myself in the room. Glad someone is project and aiming to beat it. You know what? I really am. I've been just re-inspired to take this on and kill it. That's possibly not the right thing to use. Yeah, you can post a link. Whether, I mean, as long as it's not, you know, the typical link that you would like to share, that we always joke about. What kind of stream is this where a man is rubbing on paper seductively? The sheep noises in the background don't help. That's true, Aaron. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I never left, you poorly coded excuse for a Twitch bot. That's true. I guess that's your fault, Weremuffin. Anyways, let's go up here. Let's just go to the top. To the top. So I'm crazy. Like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Let's eat while we go up. I like that eating doesn't slow you down on a ladder. As you can see, it takes a long time to get places with these ladders. But basically, this circle is 113 blocks across all the way. So here's a good example. This building is 200. And this is about 60%. So I like that it goes across the water. So we'll be able to kind of put it in the water a little bit, which I think is really cool. See, that's where that farm is, and I don't know if I like that very much. We may move it, like I said. It works. If it works, that's great. Somebody smarter than I is going to have to do it, though. And as you can see here, I was kind of looking to see how it would look with that. I have finished most of the roof. Jay has been very, very kind and has gotten me a lot of nether brick. So this side is done. It was almost done to start. I put these lanterns in, which is really cool. I'm kind of babbling for 15 minutes. As you can see, as you get closer to this side, it stops working. Has Van seen any of the work you've done in this place? I don't know. I actually haven't heard from Van. If he's watching my videos, I hope so. And I've mentioned this before. Van gave us, I'll say the server, a wonderful foundation to work off of. And so I'm very happy to kind of tackle this project, because to think and to build in this kind of scope, especially from scratch, takes somebody of certain skills. And I've built some pretty decent sized things on the server and in my other worlds, but this is really taking it to a whole nother level. So yeah, to keep the torches away from here, I've put these here. And hopefully I can grab it. Get close enough to where it's not going to go anywhere. Let's see. Grab it. Yeah. So broke this slab. And so it comes through the other side, which is pretty cool. I'll show you what that looks like. There's a little bit of that block lag I get when I place those. But here's the outside of the circle. So that's roughly, I just wanted to kind of see what it would look like on this side. And this wall I'm going to have to work on. Maybe we'll work on this today. Is this a solid block? Yeah, so I can shift on this. So this wall, I think there's 18 windows, and we'll add a 19th window, and then that will basically bring it so that this bottom wall goes all the way to where the circle begins. And then the dome, or the circle will go up, and then there's going to be a dome on top of that. And I looked, and I did, there's a really cool website that sort of tells you where, let me see if I can think, that kind of tells you how many blocks you're going to need to build a dome, and it gives you the layouts. think it's called Plots with a Z, Poltz. And it told me how many blocks, and of course it's on one of these stupid pieces of paper as I ruffle them for you seductively. Where is it? Oh, it's going to take just the dome, whatever material I decide. It's going to take 16,455 blocks. Not this part. I have no idea how much this is going to be. I guess I could figure that out. Just take that times 56. So however many blocks it takes to make the circle times 56. That's how many, roughly, because we'll probably have windows and stuff. But the dome, I'm putting a dome on top of it. That'll get us really close to build limit. That's going to take over 16,000 blocks. So I'm not sure what kind of material I'm going to use. We may use netherrack again, but I don't know. Okay. Thanks. And then there's like, so like if you look at the building I'm talking about, it's got kind of like a spire. Not really a spire. It's kind of like a little building on top of the dome that you can somehow get to, and then it's got like a little thing. So that's where that is. Let's go downstairs real quick. We're not actually going to do much building if I just keep showing you stuff. Oh, gosh. I did want to kind of catch you guys up, though. This is kind of like a mini episode before the building. So here are the sea lanterns underneath. It really makes a big difference at night, especially because this ceiling got really dark. As you can see, this stuff does pretty well because of this natural light here. But these are still really dark through here, so I don't know. I may need to try to find some sort of lighting method. Also need to work on these. So it's kind of like, do you stream and build? Do you do the weird stuff like this or what? But yeah, so the floor was original. He's pretty much done this. All the pews were already in. I put these cross beams in. I tweaked these beams. Tweaked kind of the in between the windows. I've still got these windows to do. I'm basically mimicking these, except for this theme will continue up through here, which will need to be fixed. There's a big chunk of the front missing, but again, that's going to change. Pretty much going to eventually shift to where we're building this on stream, because it allows you for the long duration and we can talk about whatever random stuff. And then I still got to get back to my build at Enton. So, but yeah, now we've got this beacon. I wish I would have known about that iron before. Man, I've got emeralds down there. You can see them. They're so pretty. Don't lie to me, Muffin. All right, so it's either we can either do these up here or we can finish these, or both. Probably both. Just which one do we want to work on first? Let's do the windows first. I think I actually have I have the glass on me. So let's go up and do that. And while we do that, I'm going to pull up my random questions. Oops, hold on. When is that event? May 22nd. Okay. Just looking at a work email. Why did it do that? I want to keep these questions on the same thing here. I love you guys. You're so entertaining. Let's see. These are just really weird questions. Like, I'm going to just name these. I'm just going to run these questions off. I don't really think I'm actually going to answer them. Stupid Windows key just literally made everything disappear. Ugh, that's annoying. Was Fraps up the whole time? That's really annoying. All right, where's my questions? I lost them. You gotta love technology. Okay, what animal would you most like to have as a pet? That one's an okay question. Dogs are, if in an ideal world, if I actually had a house with a lot of room, I would either want, and Aaron's gonna like this answer, I would either like a husky, a German Shepherd, or my wife would honestly prefer a Golden Retriever. And I used to have a Golden Retriever. His name was Baker. My parents have him now. I had to get rid of him because I lived in an apartment, then I moved into a house that I was renovating, and it just wasn't a good environment for him. And I really didn't have a yard, so I had to walk him all the time. And yes, I'm mining most of the resources for this. Either mining it or I've taken them out of the resource center at Enton where people take their scraps that they don't want. And Jay, the nether brick, the purple brick up there, she's helping me out by just doing that through that. My wife is a little freaked out by huskies because they remind her of wolves. German Shepherds, for some reason, she doesn't. I mean, I just think because they're intimidating looking dogs, but I think if we got it as a puppy, she'd really like it. She's had Golden Retrievers in the past. And so I think she would be a lot more comfortable with a, with a Golden Retriever. But yeah, I like all kinds of dogs. Oh, you know what? Actually, we can't put the glass in until we do something else. Where's that crafting bitch is too far away from me. Yeah, they are the friendliest wolves. You're right. I've never met a husky that I didn't like. I'm just going to say that. These good dogs. But yeah, I like dogs. I have a cat. He's manageable. We could technically walk away for a number of days and he'd be fine. I mean, it wouldn't be ideal. We usually always get we consistently always get somebody to watch him when we go out of town. But dogs are just, they're a little bit more maintenance, which is fine. Am I doing this right? Let's go down and look. Whee! Yeah, so I'm converting everything into these. Yeah, that's got to be right. So I need this wood, but we can always go do that later. So yeah, we need to do this a bunch of times. And I can talk. And you guys can talk. You are more likely to die under all the fur they shed than the aggressive behavior. That's funny. Yeah, but German Shepherds, I don't think we've ever owned a German Shepherd. We've had, I grew up with mostly Scotties, Scottish Terriers. My mom really likes them. So we had Jimmy, Jem, I don't know, Jimmy. How did we spell Jimmy? Jemmi? I don't know. She was a really good dog. And then Sheba was another one we got. Here's a working example right here. Sheba was another Scottie that we had when we moved. Or no, we got her when we moved to Indiana. She was a really, really good dog too. And then my parents have a new one now, which I really haven't had much interaction with. And then they have Baker, and then they have a bunch of cats, and then they have a Shiba Inu, which is a smaller dog. But yeah, we've had all sorts of dogs growing up. We had Cooper was the Golden Retriever we had for a long time. Yeah, you know what? I should have just done this earlier. I kind of hate that the resources are way over here. There we go. I was like, are we ever going to land? We can just jump down here. But yeah, dogs, I mean, within the right parameters, I've always liked dogs and they're animals, so that's good. Like, here's another question. What is your favorite type of tree? What? Okay. I don't know. All trees? Actually, there are trees that I have seen. Now, I'm going to make this a serious question. I'll make a serious question out of you someday. Gosh, we got to get rid of some of this stuff. Our inventory's going to get too full too fast. Too furious. There, and it's like the tree that looks like the bark is shedding off of it. And they have them at this church that we do, my radio station does events at every year. We have one event that we do there. I know what I'm going to need that. Are these questions... Hey, Will, how's it going? Are these questions a cop asks before tricking you into confessing a crime? Yeah. They get you so confused that you just start babbling about all the bad things you've done to other people. But I don't know what the name of that tree is. That looks like it's shedding. But it looks like the bark is just like flaking off. And it makes it look like the tree is like not in good shape. But it's totally fine. I'm sure somebody knows the name of it. But I don't. And I always ask them. And I'm always like, I'm going to have one of those someday. And I never do. So we still live in an apartment. So yeah, that's my favorite type of tree. Don't know what it is. But someday I will. Okay, here's another one. If you could bankrupt one person or company, who would it be? I don't know. Donald Trump? Why not? Does he really do us any good? I don't know. Yeah, I think the tree's white. The bark is kind of like an orange color. Like the actual inside of the tree is kind of a whitish color. But the bark is kind of like a burnt orange, I think. It goes to show you how much attention I'm paying. I want to say it's like is it like a willow tree? I don't know. But yeah, the tree is kind of that whitish color. If you could steal one thing without consequence, what would it be? An Apollo space capsule. or a space shuttle, now that you can go to a museum and look at one, which is crazy that they kind of decommissioned those as quickly as they did. I guess it wasn't as quickly as they did, but, you know. If I could live in a space shuttle, I would. It'd be like my man cave. That would be the best thing ever. I would totally live in a space shuttle. At some point, we're going to need to make a spoon. Or a shovel, for those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's see, where am I at? I have fallen from all the way up there and survived. But that's within certain reason, so let's not try to fall today. The first time I did, I was clenching them. Oh, dang it. I was clenching them butt cheeks, that's for sure. Birch tree. I think that, yeah, you're right. I think it's birch tree. Yeah. They're really cool. That's my favorite type of tree. I don't know. Where I proposed to my wife in San Francisco was pretty awesome. The big Shaquoia trees. Speaking of cathedrals, I think they called it is it the Cathedral Forest? Or the something cathedral? I think they just maybe call it the cathedral. Because it's where it is, like there's a lot of trees and then there's like a kind of like a big opening and the light comes down and it's really cool. That's where I proposed to my wife. Muir Woods was where that's at. It was in Planet of the Apes, the first the first reboot from the current series that's like way better than the Tim Burton movie. That's where he took him to release him. It's almost the exact same spots, which is kind of cool. I like those trees too. Hey, Will, thanks for following me. Much obliged. So you're saying there would be a space shuttle just parked in a field and we'd find you living in it? Yeah. If not, I'd make a tree house out of it. So it'd be either in the woods or in a field. I'd have the NASA, I'd have the Houston buildings and everything. Kennedy Space Center, I'd have it all. I'd just combine it into one big thing. Who's your favorite celebrity with the same first name or surname as you? I met Jason Ritter once, and he's really cool. He was a really nice guy. Met him at South by Southwest. I think he was just there to kind of be a fly on the wall, and I think I accidentally kind of like got some heat on him from fans. Like, he was wearing like a ball cap, and I was like, hey, I really like, you know, such and such, and like, I don't really want to bother you too much, but he was pretty cool about it. Okay, that was pretty fast. I guess we need to go over there and work on those too. Let's do that while we're thinking about it. So Jason, and then Thompson. I'm trying to think of any celebrities that have the last name Thompson that I am familiar with. Don't know. Oh, this is going to be annoying because we're going to have to come in and out every time. Wait a second. Okay, so this is more cosmetic than anything else. These here. What famous Thompsons can you guys think of? None come to mind for this old brain. Oh, man. Nice and quiet. I feel like I need music. Excuse me, or something playing. Yeah, this is a better way of doing this. Oh, we can go around and get those other ones. This is a whitelisted server, the Groundfox server. But right now it's a single player world because most people don't get on in the middle of the day like I do. I have a weird... I want to meet Aaron Carter so I can debunk his claims of beating Shaq. No kidding. What a jerk. I'm just killing you. Aaron Carter. You're a jerk. Did you guys see the video of Shaq? He was like getting up off of the NBA on TNT set and he like fell over. And he like took out a monitor with like when he fell. That's a pretty amazing sight. Oh man. No, Jordan. We know what happens when you get on a server. All right, what's the next? I mean, that question, like I said, some of these questions are weird. All right. Wow, I got that email 4 minutes ago, and it took that long for it to show up in Twitch. Oh, Twitch alerts. How I love thee. That's all right. That's why you keep the email pooled up. But yeah, some of these questions are weird, so don't think I'm being weird for the sake of being weird. It's just the questions are weird. I think there's a bed over here. Yeah, look it up. I think I saw it this weekend. Just look for Shaq tripping, and you'll probably find it. It's pretty funny. And he did it with he took it like a champ. We'll just say that. He kind of like rolled around on the set for a little while. They were all laughing about it. What kind of tree are we talking about? Birch? A big birch tree? Or no, I guess he'd be more like a sequoia, wouldn't he? My other favorite tree. I like all trees equally. All trees are beautiful. American holly. All right, so let's see. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm marking these questions as read. What is your favorite flower? I don't really have a favorite flower, but my wife likes sunflowers. So I assume that should be my favorite. You just claim your wife. Oh, that's not. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, that was bad. Oh, that's how you embarrass yourself on a stream. Sorry, Becky. I, I'm not a good husband today. Or most days, really. Shaquoia. Oh, Aaron, that's brilliant. it's, it's a Shaquoia tree. But yeah, she likes sunflowers. And moving on. There's a lot of these questions, too. These questions will last me years. I hate how those don't match up. Unless you're on this side. And I know I'm going to fall at some point. So buckle up, guys. It's going to happen. Let's get those on the same one. Wait, what does that question say right above it? If evildoers invaded your country, would you rush to the battle lines to defend the motherland or hide in a box? Oh, have you... Oh, man, I missed that one. Have you guys seen the remake of... Oh, what is... The remake of... What is the name of that stupid movie where the Russians invade? Kurt Russell's in it. And it's North Korea, the remake. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, the remake is just terrible. I think what I want to do is I want to watch that again with my friend Todd, and we need to record a commentary on it because we saw it in the theaters. Red Dawn, that's what it is. I said it before anybody said it in chat. First, and yeah, haha, delayed. It's the only good part of the delay is that you can sometimes make yourself look better by beating everybody to the punch. Anyways, I would probably go to the front lines or, kind of hang out and be as much as a support personnel person as I could. Yeah, these are going to get broken anyways. Let's get rid of these. The idea is to get rid of all torches and light this place up safely. That's going to be a really fun challenge. Yeah, so I still got to take those out too. But yeah, that Red Dawn remake, if you guys have not seen it and you just want to watch a movie and have a good time with your friends, and if you're of age, make it a drinking game, I'm sure there's one that exists because it's so bad. And it's been out long enough that I can actually explain this one particular scene to you that happens early in the movie. So, right as the North Koreans are attacking, these kids are driving around this pickup truck, right? And they're like T-boning. Yeah, it is the longest subway commercial you've ever seen. You're totally right. There's an early scene where they're like trying to like get away from the North Koreans, and they're driving this truck, and they like T-bone this like military vehicle. And mind you, this is an older. I don't know if it's a Ford or a Chevy, but it's an old truck. Like either from the 70s or 80s. I don't think it's as old as the 60s. But just your, generic big American truck. And they like T-bone this Jeep, but there's these kids in the back of this truck, and they don't die. Like if you've ever driven in the back of a truck without any seatbelts, which is usually how that goes, it's not a pleasant ride. It's not fun. It's windy. You're bumping. And if you're making like maneuvers to avoid other vehicles, when you crash into another vehicle, those people are going to die. But yet they don't. Jesus, take the wheel. That's all I can think of. And it's so bad. It's just... Ugh. Like, I can usually forgive a movie for being stupid sometimes like that, but not that time. That one was rough. If you eat your veggies, you can handle a collision in a truck bed. America. No, you got to eat your Subway. If you eat all your Subway, Johnny, you'll survive that collision. Yeah, it was bad. Look at all this wool that we took down. Yeah, it's bad. I'm glad we came back up to that question, because watch that movie and laugh and have fun. Next question. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes and no. Mostly yes. My wife had an apartment, and I definitely could sense presences. I could see things. I could see people. Like if I was in her living room, I could see things moving in her kitchen. It was rather weird. And in my old house that I lived in, I'm pretty sure I was there with something. Okay, we need to eat. Get our health back up. Because if we fall, we're pretty much screwed at this point. Because our health is low enough to where those feather falling boots aren't going to matter. Yeah, because we're only standing on a fence, which isn't actually that secure. So yes, I do believe in the supernatural in some senses. And I have seen ghosts. There's actually a an old penitentiary, or not no, was it a pen? It was like a medical hospital that you could pay to hang out overnight down in Louisville. And I stayed there. I didn't witness anything really too scary. You could either go, you could pay like $50, I think, and hang out up until a certain time, or you could pay like $100, and then it's actually like sleep on the floor of the like main hallway, and it was all right. But I didn't really run into anything that was terrible scary. Okay, we still need to get that one. We should have enough of this to do it. Go into shift mode. I do not live in Kentucky. I live in Indiana. Indiana. I feel like I need to work on this side. So let's just extend this all the way over. I think that was right as soon as I got out of high school. I did that. Maybe not. I've had somebody ask me to go back, but it was also on one of those like game shows where it was all like MTV. MTV made a game show where like they saw if people could like hang out in scary places for a certain time. It was before all the like ghost hunter shows and stuff. It was like a couple years before that. They were trendsetters. So we're gonna need nether fence and some other stuff. Every time I think I come down here, I think I see creepers, and I shouldn't. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster? I do not. I also don't believe in Bigfoot. Because I feel like with the way technology is, you would have found either one by now. Not to say that at some point they couldn't have existed, and if they were the like unique creatures or like one of a kind or a dying breed, that they couldn't exist, but we haven't dug any bones up yet. So, do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster's ghost? I do. Actually, I don't, because it didn't exist, so how could it have a ghost? I'm also a religious person, which also, people always kind of like you believe in Jesus, but you believe in ghosts too? It's kind of like, oh yeah, they could. Not everything's explained, but More people have seen ghosts than they have seen Bigfoot, so at least they say they have. So I'm just saying. Do I believe in aliens? I do as well. That's the other one. It's kind of like, well, okay. There are a lot of galaxies out there. I feel like there is, and maybe it's not like your big bug-eyed aliens or whatever, but I definitely believe there are other life forms out there. Do you believe the government is hiding technology and information from the public? Duh. Of course they are. Most big government-funded projects, especially military stuff, doesn't get implemented into civilian life until at least 5. I mean, you could try to fast track it, and it might still take like 2 years. But there are things that I know that guys work on that are like military contractors that take forever to show up in the hands of civilians. But in terms of like, do we have alien technology? I don't know, probably. Why not? America. So what else did we need? We need spruce, which I don't know how much spruce we have. That might be just enough. Here's your leaves and stuff that I might decorate with. Are those the only leaves I have? Jeez. Well, I guess we're going to be using spruce leaves to take care of those. I guess I didn't need to... Oh, shoot. Didn't need to move those. Which is your favorite Pokemon? None of them is my favorite. Sorry. It's just not my cup of tea. Which horror fiction character scares you the most? That is a good question. Not Jason. Not Freddy. Not the Scream guy. Well, Sleepaway Camp. If you've seen Sleepaway Camp, there's some scary stuff right there. But I'm not really scared of that, I guess. It says scares you the most. It doesn't say which one is your favorite. So I guess I have to pull the trigger on that. Yeah, I don't... it's not the full length, so we might be able to get away with that. Nope, don't go down. Can you do 10 revolutions on a hula hoop? Probably. We used to hula hoop all the time as kids. Man, I used to do that for like... I'm pretty sure, and I'd have to get a parental figure to confirm this, but I feel like I could hula hoop for at least 5 to 10 minutes when I was a kid. I used to go crazy on those things. Nope, here we go. And we died. How did we die? That's weird. We shouldn't have died. I have fallen that far before. Sleepaway Camp is terrible for a reason, which is what makes it amazing, Aaron. Jordan. Gosh, see? See what I'm doing? He's here and I did it. I feel embarrassed. Yeah, Sleepaway Camp is awesome. I used to watch it all the time on New Year's Eve. Not Halloween, New Year's Eve. It was a tradition for years. See, these are British questions because it says, do you think Great Britain should have a national day? I don't know. Sure. Why not? If they want one. I think that was my punishment already, Aaron. See, I've got these really nice feather falling boots that shouldn't have killed me. That's weird. Let's reorganize things. Oh, I have it. I was like, where's that at? Yeah, because like these questions ask you things like, what do you like to do on holiday? And I'm like, oh, you mean vacation? So stuff like that. Let's make sure we got everything. Oh, didn't get our torches. Usually things fall down there. Nope, not this time. If the queen leaned to kiss you on the mouth, do you go for it or let her down gently? I'd go for it. Who gets to say they got to mouth the mouth with the queen? I mean, come on, it's the queen. America. I kiss the queen with my American mouth. Yeah, see, like, do you think Great Britain should be part of the United Europe? Would you want the euro or keep the British pound? I don't know. Oh, here's one. Were you part of the Brownies, Cubs, Scouts, or Guides? I was not. Have you ever invented a fairly unique meal or drink? I don't think so. Have to think about that. No, I don't think I have. Have you ever been in a hot air balloon? Yes, 3 times. 2 of them were for work, and it was cool. I recommend it if you have the money and the means. And the guts. Yeah, let's just go across this way this time. Because the last time I did it was crazy. Yeah, so it's this one, right? What's your favorite sci-fi film, program, etc.? Well, obviously I'm a big fan of Star Wars, but I honestly think I can't get enough of Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is such a fun movie. It really is. And if you don't like Starship Troopers, there's something wrong with you. I can't get enough of it. I'm looking at this to make sure. I feel like I'm doing this somehow wrong. Okay, so that one goes out this way. And then there's this. But does it go all the way across? I guess it does. It just keeps going. Okay, so this is going to go into the side of this. Let's just do that. Then we'll put the fences on later. Sci-fi film program. Yeah, I'd say, I mean, Starship Troopers is awesome. If they could have ever made like a really decent TV show of it, I think that would have been fun. The movies after it, not so good. Let's just say those movies aren't that good. Because they're not. They're terrible. But for the original movie, good stuff. I like it. Let's just add that there, because I feel like that's going to kill us if we hang out here too long. Okay, so I think I need to add smooth stone here, which I have some. Yeah, Denise Richards, not the best actress, but obviously she has other things going for her, especially for us young men at the time. But yeah, it's such a good movie. It's just, you know, satirical, just it has a lot going on for it. So many good action scenes. So, I mean, the action in that, especially the digital effects, are just top notch especially for their time. Oh, hey. Dead. There you go. Have a torch. Ah, good. We have oak wood down here. Oh, and we have smooth stone. Oh, fantastic. And ladders. Even better. We're so good. What? Aaron? Jordan, you're just... I can't keep up with you guys. But keep going. Keep entertaining yourselves. Okay, I gotta figure out a better way of getting up here. Because this is not cutting it. I guess I have to go this way. But other sci-fi movies, Sphere, I've talked about that before. That's a pretty good movie. It's a much better book, but trying to translate all of that, it's more psychological stuff that it'd be really hard to put on film. But it's good. Of course, Jurassic Park, some people could claim that that's science fiction. I could maybe see that argument. Of course, that's a good one. Interested to see how this new one pans out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I guess these go all the way across on the bottom. Oh, that's not even, that's spruce. I was going to say that's not even the right kind of wood. Well, I guess we'll give this a shot. That works. I can use that. Let's see. Total Recall is a fun movie. Remake was terrible. Saw that on my honeymoon. Definitely regret that. You know, like we had a pretty much a week-long honeymoon. We were in Daytona Beach. Pretty sure we saw Ted, Total Recall, and maybe another movie. And it's like, okay, it's pouring down rain. Outside of other things that, you know, you would do on your honeymoon, it's like you kind of start running out of things to do, especially when it's raining. We were kind of getting a little stir crazy, so we had to do something. So we decided to go see that. I guess I decided more so than she did to go see it, and that was not a good idea. Not a good movie. Sorry, Colin Farrell. Not so good. Not saying the first one's a masterpiece, but certainly more entertaining. Oh, she's so bad in The World Is Not Enough. Was her name Christmas? Denise Richards. Come on now. What am I looking for? I'm looking for andesite. Raw andesite. You gotta be around here somewhere. Nope. Alright, going down. Christmas Jones. That's right. Ugh. A terrible character name. But then again, it's James Bond. I'd probably need to revisit the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies because I don't really feel like I liked him that much. Yeah. Christmas comes more than once a year. Ugh, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's how it ended, pretty much. Cue music. Blade Runner, another solid movie. I would argue that Heavy Metal is science fiction in nature. Space Camp was a fun movie as a kid. What other science fiction movies? Terminator 2. Duh. Great movie. Aliens. Both really great movies. Really? You think because you think a kid was happy to be in line to hear that line? I don't know about that. This whole corner may not even exist after I'm done with it, so I'm not even sure why I'm doing this. I do need a lamp though over here, so maybe move this torch because we're going to eliminate this. Yeah, I guess these do need to go down here, don't they? So this will help with the spawning rates. I think I'm just going to keep that there. I'm going to have to punch this. Trying to think of what other science fiction movies. The Matrix, of course, is great. Trying to think of older science fiction movies, though, that I really like. Nothing's coming to mind, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm trying to do 3 things at the same time. Alright. Wait, does that... Okay, good. We're going to start to get over there for the wood, but I think I should be able to do it from the other side. Yeah. Okay, so let's go get the wood for the next round. We can write this down. I want to always just depend on... For a long time, I built most of this without ender pearls, which is pretty crazy to think about. How long have I been streaming? An hour and 18 minutes. Okay. Here's a weird question. Do you prefer shopping on on the high street, not just the street? Do you prefer shopping on the high street or online? I definitely prefer shopping online, but there are a few things I'll go to the store for. Groceries are a weird thing that people are like getting delivered to their house, but I guess if you're always consistently buying the same things, that might be kind of cool to start doing, but yeah, I don't know about that. It's a little weird to me. What did I come down here for? Yeah, that's right. Ooh. I don't think we're going to have to go cut down any more of that because I have plenty of it. Let's go take care of these holes, though. I hate that I have to do this every time, but that's all right. All right. Oh, I have to build. All right, let's just do it this way. So I don't want to have to do any of this. No torch. Ah, dang it. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, we barely made that. Yeah, I think almost a lot of towns have a town or street called High Street. Let's just do this. That should save, hopefully, people from going down that one. Some of these we're just not going to be able to do, but I like this one. Easy. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place. Just put guardrails up. Let's just do that. Ah, we ran out of bushes. Alright, I'll have to come back to that. Have to go get some more trees, though. Let's go this way. Take the long way around. Would you ever want to learn how to fly? I actually have about 14 hours logged on, not Flight Simulator. I was really serious about getting I was really serious as a kid, wanted to be a pilot. We should be running fast. I don't know why we're not. We're within the circle. I know we are if we get closer to the building this way. Yeah, see, here we go. But yeah, a number of hours logged for a pilot's license. But I really wanted to be a fighter pilot and eventually an astronaut as a kid. And that just something that never sort of came to fruition. But then I thought, you know, I could still get my pilot's license, and I've been up a few times. But not 14 hours straight. I've gone up a number of times. Okay, so we don't have any wood over here. Is it in here? I could swear we had a bunch of that stored somewhere. Well, if not, I guess we're going to have a bunch of trees to cut down. But, yeah, it's not something that I'm really serious about anymore. Come on. I actually live pretty close to an airport, too, which is kind of funny, like a local airport. I know enough to be dangerous. I don't think I'll be finishing that up anytime soon. Here we go. Let's get rid of these. Lots of these over here, because I knew I was going to need a bunch of these trees. These are sort of hard to cut down, because you can't tell what is part of one tree and what's part of another, so you just cut them all down. These trees get pretty crazy sometimes, too. Yeah, see, I can't get that one. Hey, there we go. Got it. Like a boss. Okay, good. I'm actually picking these up. Not for long. Let's plant these. Let's see. Do you often read your horoscope? I do not, but I'm a Leo. Just in case you were wondering. I think they're fun, but yeah. Don't really get into that stuff. I don't let somebody at the newspaper dictate the way my day is going to go. Or however you view your horoscopes. That's just how they used to do it back in the day when I was old or young, and now I'm old, and us old people don't know any better. What's this newfangled internet horoscope you talk about? All the internet is good for is, I don't know, loud music and WebMD telling you have cancer. Because that's usually about how it goes. You always end up on WebMD. No matter what you Google, when it comes to a health question, you usually always end up there. Just to double check. It's always cancer. It sucks. And then it's not cancer. Unless it is cancer, and that's just a rub in the, like, that's just not right. That's not how you should find out that initially you have cancer. That should definitely, like, panic you into, like, sort of rethinking some of your choices in life, but it would be really, really awful if you actually looked up your symptoms on WebMD and then realized you do have cancer. That would be really bad. Yeah, see, I'm old, so I don't know how to find cat videos. Where would I go to find cat videos? I mean, these things I don't know. I just don't know these things. I have to get my grandkids to show me. Oh, come on. Really? Jerks. That sounds kind of close to what I do now, Aaron. Not really. I wish. What's the next question? Have you ever had a proper tarot reading? Are they ever proper? Go in some room, some lady holds your palms and tells you weird things about your life that are the same for mostly everyone. I guess we can get rid of that glass for the sake of wood. I smell somebody cooking rice. Am I having a stroke? It's probably not good, right? I smell rice. Okay. Let's get rid of those. Grab these. Run through here. Plant these like a madman. And get back to work. Let's see. What's your favorite brand of newspaper? I really liked USA Today for a long time. I used to read that pretty much every day. We used to get it free in college. Used to be available. That and of course the local student paper, but I preferred USA Today for a long time. I think it's kind of gone downhill since then, but I like just the way it looks. I like kind of the way it's split up and organized. Plus, I've had a few things published about weird projects that I've been involved in, whether they be Star Wars related or work related stuff. So that helps. Yeah, back in the day they published an article about Star Wars fan sites that you could visit, blah blah blah, and my old website was one of those. Tell us one of your ghost stories. Oh man. Okay, I'll tell you one. And this is actually something that I actually have a most recent experience that made me kind of question what I did actually see or hear. But there's a place in the town that I grew up in. The town is called Tunnelton. And there, ironically enough, is a rail tunnel that goes through the town, or through locally. And get rid of those apples. Give me a second. So there's an old tunnel, and basically it's built into the side of like a hill. Like a small, let's just call it a big hill, not a small mountain or anything by any means. And the legend, there's two legends. There used to be a guard tower, not a guard tower, but like a shack that a worker used to live in. And it used to be that there's a couple of different legends, but these are the two that are pretty common. There used to be one where at night you could see where his oil lantern was lit up to where, if you went just at the right time and all that, you could actually see like a light from a distance or whatever. That building I don't think exists anymore. I think it's been kind of run down and kind of beaten up by the little old kids. Because now the reason why I know that is because recently a bunch of my friends, like we're all in our 30s, we're like, let's go to Tunnelton. It's like, yeah, all right. And my wife Becky had never been there for obvious reasons. She's not from the area that we live in right now. I live pretty close to where I grew up. And I never saw that one, but there's another one as well where the same guy, the spirit of the same guy, would actually walk through the tunnels with his lantern, and you could actually hear the train coming, and those two like coincided with one another. And so you used to like take your girlfriend out there, and a bunch of people would just take their significant others to do whatever. Usually just hang out, but of course other things could easily be involved. Do I need to add another one over there? I don't know if I can. I'll have to look at that. May not be able to get another one over there. I don't think we are going to get another one over there, so I think this one is actually a moot point. So we may need to get rid of it. Yeah, see where that stops there and that stops here? Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of that one, so that's a waste of resources. But basically what it used to be was you'd walk through the tunnel. Like the goal was to walk through the tunnel without the lights on, like any kind of flashlights and stuff. And it's like pitch dark in the tunnel. For obvious reasons, because usually you go at night. Even if you go during the middle of the day, there's a good middle point in the tunnel where you're just not going to see anything. But if you went at night, you definitely, would be involved in not being able to see anything at all. And that's where everyone starts like making noises and all this other stupid stuff. Okay, where am I going? But yeah, there have been 2 instances where I was out there and I definitely heard the train coming. The train never came, and I definitely saw the light, and nobody was there, which is pretty cool. Okay, is that actually going to show through? No, that's right. There's going to be other things on the other side. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Lots of details. That one is like anticlimactic. I realize that story sucks, but I mean, it when you're in that tunnel and it's dark, it's like pitch dark, and you actually you see a light, because there used to be like cuts in the tunnel where like they apparently say, like, if you got stuck in the tunnel and the train was coming, you could get into one of those and then the train wouldn't hit you or whatever, which I don't know. I don't really think that's what those were designed for. But you figured out where they were pretty quickly when you started hearing like, and the train runs at night. I mean, it used to run at night. I don't know if it's still a working. I think it is still a working train. But yeah, you hear that train coming, you start booking it, and then you see the light, and then you start freaking out. And I've seen the light twice. And didn't see it this last time, which made me kind of go, was that just my imagination? Or, I don't know. We weren't drinking or anything. Let's see. I mean, just other stories, like hanging out at my wife's apartment. We would just be sitting there, and I would just see like a guy, like just standing in her kitchen for no good reason, just looking at us. And then he would just like fade out, or I'd look away, and then he would just disappear. Shoot, those were weird, stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm missing out on a really good story that I'm sure I have. It's been a weird day. Just trying to think of things. But yeah, I mean, it's in my house though. Or I'll tell you, actually, the my house thing isn't that as interesting as anything I've talked about. I would always hear weird noises and go, and like this, my whole house was like gutted at some point, and I'd still hear weird noises in places where noises should not be happening, and like people talking, stuff like that. My house was built in the 1920s, and a couple people have died in that house. I'm sure that's just what I was hearing, if anything. I don't know. Kind of weird, but. When we were kids, I grew up in Arizona. The school I used to be at used to have an basically all the doors from the classrooms led outside because it was Arizona. And there used to be these restrooms on the end. So like it was like a building, and then they had like these walkways that were covered, and all the buildings were connected. So the school could basically expand itself by just building new separate buildings across the land or whatever. And so attached to those, there was usually like a restroom that you could access from the outside. And there used to be one that was the furthest away from anything, like especially like the office and teachers and stuff like that, that kids would go in, and they would challenge each other to go up to the windows. You know what? I'm going to have to just get rid of all these stupid fences, which sucks. But we'd always challenge each other to go in there, turn the lights off, and then whisper Bloody Mary, 3 times, and then obviously she comes out or whatever. So we used to do that, but I don't think anybody ever really seriously had any like hard evidence that actually happened, for obvious reasons. But I always thought that was kind of funny, because they could always just freak us out. And I was like, when I was 9 or 10, yeah, we're gonna totally encounter creepy crawlies if we don't put torches down over here. But I quickly realized that we're going to have to work on these. So we're going to have to work on these here to make these match this, which sucks. But hey, it's got to be done. It's got to match. So yeah, whisper Bloody Mary 3 times, then the Loch Ness Monster appears. You're probably right. then I'd believe. Or if you whisper Bloody Mary 3 times and then somebody brings you a cocktail, that would be pretty amazing. Then I'd believe. Yeah, I know I'm forgetting a really good ghost story. But yeah, I have personally seen figures and heard things and, you know, stuff that makes the back of your neck, you know, the hair on the back of your neck just really kind of like stand up straight. And it's kind of weird when you start getting, I used to get really used to just seeing things at my wife's apartment, and I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, yeah, there's, you know, I think I named him at some point, the ghost, and she was like, where is he? I'm like, oh, he's over there. Where? I'm like, eh. You're not going to see him. He's not interested in you. Let's see. Have you ever used the phrase back in my time to someone younger than you? I think I just did. Have I ever milked a cow? No. Let's see. Do you love or hate roller coasters? I love roller coasters. Although the older I get, the more they affect me physically. There's one at, there's a wooden roller coaster nearby. It's a couple hours away. But it is rough. It's at Holiday World, actually. And every time like my wife, I don't think can probably ride that anymore. Did you both see them? No, my wife did not see the ghost. That was kind of the running joke, is that she could not see them, but I could. All right, so those are gone. Good. Then I can work on these with not a whole lot, but we could probably get some of these done. Let me silk touch these. There we go. Yeah, I wish you could see it, because she thought I was crazy for the longest time, but then I was just like, whatever. You can't see them? That's fine with us. Just us ghosts. Oh, you know what? I can't do this until I have both a shovel and those sea lanterns. So let's go do that. I'll take the easy way down. I used to have pools. I used to jump in that one all the time. Let's just throw a thing into it. Whee! Nope. Oh, now we can jump. Splash. We still got to jump in it. But yeah, roller coasters are great. Another good one that's really fun, that actually is the only one that's ever really affected me to the point where I thought I was going to pass out. I think it's called the Hulk at Universal Studios Orlando. Basically, you start in a really long tunnel at an angle, and then it just shoots you out of the tunnel, and then there's like 2 loop-de-loops right back to back, and I really started getting the tunnel vision. It was bad. I think I was just really tired that day too. Like, I was just exhausted, and I was like, this is not going to end well for any of us. That one was an interesting day. I think I was with a bunch of my friends. I think we can get rid of most of these. I don't think we're going to need those yet. I want to keep the glass. We need to move some of this stuff up. Oh yeah, we definitely don't need these emeralds. I'm not even sure why I still have them. Got 13 of those. Those can go here. But yeah, roller coasters are great. I love them. The older the better, too, because they usually put the fear in you. Which was the greatest empire? I don't know. What's the cleverest word you know? I don't know. What's your favorite sportswear brand? Used to be Adidas, but I wear a lot of Asics now, because Asics are just really comfortable to me. But Adidas overall is my go-to. Do you buy any weekly, monthly magazines? I do. Popular Mechanics, which I have like a ton of them. I'm staring at a ton of them sitting on my thing that so I've decided, in order to save space, because my wife and I are now moving into the same office. Popular Mechanics, by the way, you can get a really cheap subscription. You can learn a lot of really cool things in it. and get a really good idea of ideas. But there's usually in each Popular Mechanics every month, there's like a do-it-yourself project that you can build, whether it be like a hammock out of like 3 steel posts and like bungee cords, stuff like that. Oh, we need to sleep, don't we? I can hear them on the roof. Where's that bed at? I think it's this next one. Yep. Sleep. So, I just need to go through them and cut those out, and then I think I'm going to start like a binder of like manly projects that I want to do someday. Ooh, can we hit that spider? Oh, so close. Ah, see, I gotta get just underneath that bar. I don't think I can. Let's try this one. Oh man, I'm close. It's so minute. There we go. Haha, off the building. Sucker. So yeah, I just need to get like all of them together, and then just like that way it's just in a folder or binder, kind of like a scrapbook, like a manly scrapbook. That's what we'll call it. Manly scrapbook. Mm-hmm. Don't you come in between me and my manly scrapbook. Scrapbooking still a fad now? Like, is it still a thing that people are really weirdly involved with? More than they should be? I feel like that was something for a while. Oh, you know what? We didn't get torches. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Stuff is going to definitely jump out and get us. They're always out to get us. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Got it. All right. Then we got to get rid of these. And then put these in there. I'm usually pretty good. Most people usually commend me on how... we didn't get any dirt. And we didn't make a shovel. Dang it for me talking so much. Let's just go down. But yeah, Popular Mechanics is really the only one I ever consistently get to. Don't get Popular Science. Popular Science is not as good. Popular Mechanics is way better. And again, you can get like a year subscription for less than $10. You might even get it for $5, which I feel really bad because I always feel like I'm just ripping them off. But that's how the business goes these days. Although their Twitter account is a little... I'm trying to think if it's either really passive aggressive or it's just like I pay attention to both the magazine and the Twitter account pretty often, and they repeat a lot of their stories, and it's just not like they post the same thing over and over and over, and it's like, oh, stop, please. Oh, you know what? We died and we lost all those stinking levels. So I'm just gonna build one out of iron since we have a ton of iron. Oops, let's not do that. Forgot we had a bunch of stuff over here. Yeah, we'll just do it at iron. And dirt. I don't think we have any more dirt. Yep, don't have any more dirt because I used it all on... yeah, we'll just use grass, that's alright. I used it all on the other thing. Here we go. Who's my favorite superhero? Spider-Man, followed closely by Batman. I really like how sarcastic Spider-Man is, which is one of my favorite things about the Andrew Garfield version of it, because they actually finally nailed the sarcasm. Everything else was a little suspect. There was one line in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire where he's fighting Doc Ock in the bank. Oh, we didn't get torches. Shoot. And he says, "Here's your change." And he throws the bag of money right in his face. I about lost it when he did that because I was like, finally. they finally put some sarcasm in Peter Parker. outside of radioactive venom. But yeah, then the third one was just weird. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Torches. Just go ahead and make sticks out of that and out of this. Oops, need to get the coal first. Bada bang, bada boom. Bada bang, bada boom. Oh yeah, that's so many torches. That's probably more than I actually need. I guess I'm not going to need that one, so let's just switch those out. There we go. Let's see, next question. Who's your favorite villain or baddie? Honestly, I've been thinking about this. They really, on Gotham, this is the one true character that out of most of the universe that they haven't really addressed yet, that I think makes sense to at least bring up right now, would be Clayface. And the reason why I say that is because Clayface was a actor. You know, he was like a pretty decent actor. Like, this is mostly from the animated series, by the way. But they could bring him easily into the fold on Gotham now, kind of show him as like a successful like movie or TV star, whichever would work just fine. And then of course show his fall once. Like, that's the thing about that show that I'm really curious about. Like, are they ever going to actually like have a Batman show up? I hope so. They would definitely have to do a flash forward, it seems like, in order for that to happen, I would think. But Clayface totally needs to be on that show. I think it'd be really cool. Not sure who would play him, though. I always thought if they were going to try to implement a couple different people, like in the movies, like Riddler and Clayface would be maybe two good ones to go for. But we know what happens whenever you try to get multiple villains in the same movie. Joel Schumacher. You devil, you. Oops. Particular about my torch placement, as you can see. Alright. But yeah, Clayface is a pretty cool character, because he's kind of like a fallen, not like a fallen hero, but he's just a guy kind of done wrong. Two-Face is kind of the same way. Well, depending on which version of him you're talking about. Because they kind of did that in the Nolan movies, where it was kind of like, eh. But I always kind of thought it was cool with the whole coin thing. Alright, I can't tell if, I guess we can step back and look. Ooh, about right off the edge there. Let's go ahead and put that there. Yeah, so that one's good. I want to say that one's good, but it's hard to tell. I think we weren't done with this one. I think that was part of the problem. Let's go up. Going up. Yep, definitely we're not done with this. Perfect. Yeah, I thought Tobey Maguire was a pretty decent Spider-Man. I was a little bit surprised, to be honest. I wasn't really sure about him. He's in one of my favorite movies. He's in Wonder Boys, so I knew he could play kind of the depressed hero of sorts. I just hate Kirsten Dunst. I did not like her spin on that Mary Jane. Ugh, I can't think about it. Just, yeah. And it looks like they're trying to get Peter to be younger in the next incarnation, which is great. I'm all for that. Spend more time in high school. This will be what, the fourth incarnation of the character? outside of what, Blade and Daredevil? I mean, Spider-Man really put superhero movies on the map, though. But I mean, obviously, Blade was a. Yeah, there are people who like her, and I don't want to be near him. I call her lazy face because that's all. She just always looked like someone farted in that whole movie. All the movies. But who will? Of course, the second one, some people would call it a masterpiece. I just call it really good. I had some issues with it, but plays out pretty good. Pretty good. What was the last album I purchased? What was the last album? Well, I bought a whole, probably the Foo Fighters. Or no, did I get that? No, I got that for Christmas, didn't I? So I didn't buy that one. I bought a whole bunch of them at like a bookstore. They're like 50 cents a piece. So I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. I like to have physical albums because I like to have a hard copy of all the music I have. Because I don't want to have to, one, re-download songs, or two, try to be like, hey, give me my music back. Amazon or Apple. So I'll still buy physical copies if I can. Yeah, I can't remember the last album I actually bought. That is a good question. I've been kind of going back and buying old albums. I guess it says album. Where are those at? Oh, here they are. So I have bought a couple albums. Let me switch over. Let me get in a not so precarious position here. So that one's in there. They're old, but they're still albums. They're actual albums, like records. Who would have thought? All right. So, obviously, you can't be a fan of Top Gun and see this and not buy it. Great album. Good music. That's not the last one I bought, though. Then I bought Eagles 86, Eagles Live. 4 albums. Got it for $8. That's a better look at it. Yeah. Comes with a poster. That was a really good deal because that album's in really good shape. And then I bought this one called Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. And I'm actually going to show this in a whatchamacallit? A vlog. But this has the voices of Richard Burton, Julie Covington, David Essex, Justin Hayward, Phil Knott, Joe Partridge, and Chris Thompson. Some pretty big names back in the day. This is from the 70s, I think. But you'll learn more in the vlog. Back to Minecraft. But it's pretty crazy. It's like psychedelic. It's got like psychedelic music interluded with kind of a, not a modern, because the original came out way back when. And they tried to modernize it. Still in the sort of New York setting that it was in originally. It was pretty good, from what I've heard. Apparently Gifford grew up with it as well. I'd heard it growing up in some capacity, but I never heard it all the way through. But he said that I think his parents always listened to it, which is pretty interesting. So I feel like he and I should get together over like bourbon, like listen to it, have memories. He said it used to freak him out though, so maybe that would not be a good idea. Having bad memories while drinking. starts crying, and it just gets awkward. Then I have to rock him to sleep. But yeah, if you've never heard the original broadcast of War of the Worlds, I really recommend it. I think it's public domain. It was down in the 30s, 40s. We used to run it on the radio station. On not Halloween, surprisingly enough. Kind of more so on the day that it was originally aired. That was always fun. I think it was like closer to Christmas or something like that. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Of course, the internets could easily answer that question, but I'm busy. But yeah, those are the last albums I bought. I forgot I bought actual records. Those were bought at a flea market. A local flea market just down the street, which I haven't been to in a while. I may actually go there tomorrow. Might I do anything tomorrow? Like major? I might go there on my lunch break. That'd be cool. Alright, so those are good. Those are updated. Now we need to do the same thing down here and over here. We don't even have walls on this side. It's kind of freaking me out when I look at it. Man, so much ceiling. Ugh, that took so long. I'm going to leave those the way they are because we may still actually need to do stuff on those.